Okay guys, so today Miss Daddion and I are going to explain to you what your project will be next week. You have three options to show mastery of learning integer operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. The first one I'm going to go over is the integer rap or song project. If you choose to do this one, you can do it by yourself or with a partner. It's up to you. Your objective, students will create a music video on how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. You have to have all four operations. Okay? You're going to create a music video on that to the rhythm and beat of a popular song of your choice. So what you would do is you would pick your favorite song if that's what you want, and then make sure you get the instrumental version so that there's no words, because you're going to create your own words, your own lyrics to go with it. The student must demonstrate their knowledge of the math vocabulary as well as make the song make sense. So you can't be talking about adding integers and puppies and penguins. That won't work. It needs to make sense. Students must show creativity and energy in the creating of the video project and have a good time. So basically what that means is when you make your music video, I don't want you up here like, yeah man, adding. Like, no, that's not okay. Can't do that. So be into it, make your video something that people want to watch. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make a video that will help us remember how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide integers to a song that's catchy. You want to make your lyrics catchy. You are basically trying to get us to say, hey, we want to put this on our YouTube channel, or we want to use this next year in our Google Classroom. So make it the best you can. As far as grading, you're going to be graded on the following things: process, presentation, your length of your song, creativity, and neatness. And if you go to your rubric, which is back here, or it's on the second page, under process, you're trying to gain as many points as you can. So 4 obviously would be the best, 1 would be the worst. So you want to try and be 4s in all these categories. All right. Description. For more help, see the suggestions below on how to get started. So you can read through these. It'll kind of tell you how to get started. Pick a song, determine the rules for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and we've given you those. Write your song while incorporating. Incorporating means to make sure you use the rules and examples to make it. Look at that. There's a typo there. Where'd that go? Right there. It's Maples. Okay? Make sure it makes sense. Film your video. You must be in the video. I must be able to see you at all times. Okay? So if there's 2 of you working, I need to see both of you at all times. Get a friend or a family member to help you out. They can be in the video too, but make sure you have their permission. Absolutely no profanity. Okay? None whatsoever. If you think it might be inappropriate, it is. Just don't use it. Obviously no inappropriate material like that, or inappropriate innuendos. Okay, don't use anything of sexual nature. Make your video neat and clean. You are representing Georgetown ISD and Tippett Middle School, so remember that when you're making it. If any of these items are present, an immediate 0 will be given for the entire group, okay, as well as an automatic referral and phone call to your parents. So again, you can work solo, or with a partner from your class period. You can't work from another class period or another teacher. Okay? You have to both contribute equally. You must be both in the video singing or rapping. You'll be given a group grade, and you're also going to rate each other. So don't think that one person's going to do all the work and you're both going to get the same grade. The rating or the grade will be added to your overall project or score. So make sure you choose a responsible partner that you can easily work with. Don't pick someone who you're just going to goof around and you're not going to get it done on time and you're going to get a bad grade. Get someone that you can get the best grade working with. If your group, you and your partner, falls apart prior to the due date, then you must either create your own video before it's due or opt to take the paper test. So no matter what, you either have to do a video by yourself or take the paper test. On the back, you can use props or costumes to, make your music video look more legit. I have props in my room, so if you're in Miss Dadion's or Miss Smiley's class and my kids aren't using them, you're more than welcome to them. Just have to make sure you bring them back to me. Do a few practice runs before you actually record it. You can use an iPad, your phone. I know in In science, y'all use iPads for and you use iMovie. You can do that on there. If you know of something fancy you can do in a Chromebook, go on with bad self. I'm not quite sure what you can do in a Chromebook, but I know you can take a video. Make sure you're organized. Do not waste class time or wait until the last minute. You won't be able to get it all done if you waste your time. Okay, make sure all your math information is accurate and makes sense. And when you're finished filming, proof over it, edit anything you need to or redo it. Make sure your camera's stable and make sure the video is clear and everybody's able to see what's going on. Your due date, your video must be emailed to me or Miss Dedion or Miss Smiley. They'll have their information there. Uploaded to YouTube, okay, or brought to your teacher on a flash drive so that they can put it on their computer by the end of the day on Friday? Did you say Friday?
I thought we were going to watch him on Friday.
Oh, yes, sorry. End of the day on Thursday. So, yes, stick with this. End of the day on Thursday because on Friday we're going to watch them in class. So, then again, you have to have it ready. No late projects will be allowed, even if you're absent. That's why you have a partner. Make sure you get it to me. You can always upload it to YouTube from home. All videos must be digital. Okay, so you can't bring me a video on your camera. Sorry, it won't work. You need to make sure you upload it to the internet. And then I wanted to, can I change the I wanted to show you some examples of videos so you kind of know what we're talking about. This one's from some high school. It's a teacher and her students. This will just kind of give you an idea. As you can see that she uses her students, the teacher uses her students in the video, which would probably be more something you do. She also uses the computer to show stuff like this. You're more than welcome to do that, or you can just do all people. This one, this is a multiplying fractions rap video.
Found treasure on a scuba trip, so we pulled our treasure up onto the ship. Since we were so blessed by this rarity, we decided to give half of it to charity. We took the rest, split it up 3 ways. 1/3 of the rest was still a huge payday. 1/3 for me, 1/2 for charity. So what's my share? Let's multiply and see.
Computer animated. You could do this with people instead of like these excuse me, the scuba people. It could be actually you. You could be acting this out. Last one, vocabulary. I'm sure a lot of you have seen vocabulary. So it's just they make rap songs.
Yeah.
Dividing fractions.
Keep, change, flip. Simple, right? Dividing fractions. Vocabulary. Let's go. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action. Everybody's gonna know how we're dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Yeah, that's the action.
Okay, so the thing I like about that one is that they showed you keep, change, flip, like exactly what you're supposed to do for each fraction. So they kind of, I'll get there, wherever it is. So here they were showing you, like this is the process you need to take, and here's an example. So no, you can have that up like on papers or something like that, and you're showing it. be as creative as you want to, but make sure you get it all done in the time frame.
And make sure you show all 4 operations too. So
Yes.
make sure you have an example of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing.
Yes. Okay, so that's your integer wrap, and there's a rubric on the back for you to look at, and,
Oh, wait.
sorry. There's a rubric attached for you to look at, and it'll tell you how your points are based at the bottom. So this is how you earn your grade down here. Okay, so that's your integer wrap. Now, Miss Eddie, I'm going to tell you about the game you can make.
Alright, so your second option is to make some kind of board game. And on this one, again, you can choose somebody to partner up with. But again, make good choices because you're going to grade each other. And again, it's going to be due on by the end of the day, Thursday, because we're going to play these games after we watch the videos on Friday. So you need to make sure you get it done before Thursday afternoon. So make a good choice with your partner if you decide to do that. Okay, so you're going to basically make a board game that covers all 4, again, operations. So you need examples of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the game should be able to help people review those concepts. So, or reteach or reinforce them. Think about games you've played before. You've played board games before, and you know how those are set up. And you need to make sure you include some rules and directions as to how the game is played. And then keep your classmates in mind. Okay, so make sure that they would understand the directions and instructions you give them. All right. So here's what you need in order to be able to do that. You're going to make sure you have adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing integers. You need to give a name for your game. So it needs to be fun and creative, and it has to have something to do with the game itself. Right? You also need to create a theme for your game. So we give you some examples. You could use sports, and you could use the beach. You could use just anything. All right. The next thing you want to do is make sure you show in your directions how to complete a problem for your topic. Okay. So if there's an outline, include it with that. And if you have questions, you can refer to that. And then give the directions. Make sure, again, you're giving step-by-step instructions about how to play the game. So if someone's never seen it, they can read your instructions and know what to do. So make sure your instructions include these things listed here. How many players can play your game, and what materials are needed. And then you need to be able to provide those materials when you turn in your game. So like if it needs some dice, then you need to include a dice in that. All right? So give the goal of the game, give the instructions, make sure you say how the game is won. Okay, what is it required in order? And then there needs to be an answer key for the questions you're using. So these questions you're using to show adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, we want to see that you know the answers to all those questions too. Alright, so include a game board. Make sure this is colorful, neat. Okay, you want people to want to play your game. Okay, it should have a start and finish. Let's see, or another place that people will know where to start their game and how it ends, I guess. It needs to fit inside some type of box so that you will provide. We're not going to provide that. You figure out what it's going to fit inside, and something that's sturdy so that it's not going to get messed up when you're transporting it back and forth places. All right, so some just suggestions maybe for game pieces. If you need dice, you can use that. You can make your own dice, even out of paper. I've seen people do that. You can use pennies or rocks and tokens, all kinds of things. Be creative. And then have some game cards. You need at least 15 with 15 different problems. So these are the type of problems we were talking about earlier. Let's see. So the game box needs some type of packaging. So you could use a shoe box, a cereal box, pizza box, whatever. And if there's writing on the box, cover it up with construction paper, all right? And then you can decorate the outside of your box so that it has the name of your game, the number of players, and the age of the intended players. So think about what an actual board game would look like. That's what you want your game to look as much like that as possible. And some kind of catchy advertisement or slogan that would make people want to play your game. All right, so an example, if there's a pirate theme, then come up with some fun pirate theme to use. And I'm not sure I can even say that. Arr. Find 3 solutions or prepare to walk the plank. All right, so give a picture or an illustration, something like that that's on your game board. and a brief summary of how the game is played. 3 to 5 sentences, that's what a brief summary is, complete sentences, right? Alright, and then it needs to be neat, make sure it's attractive, easy to read, colorful, and yeah, you want people to want to play your game, because we will be playing your game this week on Friday. Let's see, you don't need to put your name on the game. It's going to go inside your rubric, which I will show you in just a minute, and that is going to go inside your box. Okay, again, if you're unable to find something or make something for the project, just let your teacher know ahead of time. Like if you can't find a dice, then we can try to help you either figure out what to do instead of that, or help you make one some other way. Alright, so here are some other papers we've included to sort of help you complete this project. So you need to fill this out when you turn it in with your rubric. You have the title of your name, okay, how to play it, I guess, and then the steps that you would take to play the game. So step-by-step instructions, that's what you want to put here.
What's the other one?
Okay, and then, is that what you need? Oh, wait, sorry. So I should have started on this side, right? So here's the title of your game, how many players, this is the materials you're including. Here's where you would put the directions to how to play the game, and then make sure you tell them how to win. And on the back of that, this is, so you're just going to continue the title, and you're going to show how to do, like, multiplying integers, right? Dividing integers, so you would list the steps for how to add integers, and then here you might be how to divide integers or something like that. So make sure you include all 4 of those, and then you can give a sample problem to go with that. Is it okay to put all 4 operations on this page?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is a checklist. So if you can check off all of these, then you should have everything you need to turn in your game. There's a rubric. So again, you can get up to 4 in each category. So make sure you've got all of these covered. And notice that turning it in on time, that's part of your grade. Rating your partner, that's 25 points of your total grade. Right? So you need to make sure, again, that you're picking someone you can work with who's not going to goof around, that's going to help you get it turned in on time. So you'll have time in class to do this on Wednesday and all day Wednesday, and you'll have Thursday, but it needs to be finished and complete and turned in by Thursday. So
You may have to work outside of class, so make sure you plan for that too and use your class time wisely.
Okay.
And you want to show the
Let's see.
example?
Oh yeah,
sorry.
I'll show you an example. This is one thing you're going to be using to rate your partner. So you're going to be thinking about if they managed their time, did they bring the part that they were supposed to bring? If they were supposed to bring the box and they didn't, that might affect that part. How did they treat you? Did they have ideas, or were you doing all the work? And then did you do your share of the work? All right, so here's an example of a game that I had a student make a couple years ago. So they decided to use football as their theme, and so they made a football field. And so the idea was for 2 players to start on the 50-yard line, and then they would roll a dice, and the dice would, so they would roll a dice, but they didn't get to move until they drew a card and answered the question. All right, so they would draw a card, answer the question. If they were correct, they could look at the answer key, right, and see if they were correct. And if they were, then they got to move forward or backwards depending on what they rolled on the dice. All right, and so when they got to the end zone, then they won the game. So notice they've included the directions for how to play, the game cards, the answer key, and then they had a penalty card too. So if you rolled a certain number, then you had to draw a penalty card, and these could be good or bad. Right, so that was kind of a fun little extra thing for them. Okay, so what's missing though from this project is that they did not put it in a box. So you would want to make sure that you have some kind of box with, again, like the outside of it, making it look like an actual board game. But this was a really fun one to play. Kids really liked this, and it was creative. All right, that's all for the game.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the paper test, that's pretty self-explanatory. You will take your paper test on Thursday. And if that's the way you choose to do, or if you're not ready, okay, if it falls apart like Ms. Clickman said, then you'll go ahead and take the paper test with those who've chosen to take the paper test. And those of you who are choosing to do the paper test on Wednesday will be making your own review. So you've done a review already for this chapter, so you kind of know what a test review looks like, and you're going to make your own. And it needs to be, and you can do it on notebook paper, but it needs to be neat and easy to read so that we can see what questions you asked. You can model it after the test review you've already done, but it doesn't need to be exactly like the test review you just did. And it needs to include the answers. So once you finish writing the questions, it needs to be, let's say, at least 20 questions. And you need to include the answers to those 20 questions. Once you turn it in, we're going to look it over, make sure it looks good. And then if there's time, you will switch with another person who's made a review, and you'll do each other's review to study for the test. Is that it?
And then on Thursday, you'll take the actual paper test so that on Friday you can make corrections to it.
Right. So if you don't do well on your test, you'll be making, I guess everybody will do. I guess regardless of how you do, unless you make 100, you'll be making corrections on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah, that's it.
All right.
So we will be back tomorrow to help you get started. So the remainder of the class today, we want you to figure out who your partner is, what project you're doing, and start brainstorming ideas so that tomorrow on Wednesday you can hit the ground running and go.
Right. And if you've chosen to do the paper test, then you can go ahead and get out a piece of paper and start brainstorming some ideas for your review questions.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's it.
See you tomorrow.